started? I did bring a Swiss cowbell in honor of Be Merry. Yeah. And I think a few of you will be speaking, and this is going to come out if you go too long. What we're hoping to do is to keep this light, fun. Be Merry, as she touched all of you, so as you all know, she loved having fun. She loved the party. She, I'm sure, is very sad to be missing this party, but also very happy that we're all gathered here. So the tone of today is one of happy remembrance of Be Merry. Actually, I'm going to start with a very logistical thing, which is that somebody lost their cell phone and it dropped down here. So whoever dropped their cell phone, come and find me, and it's going to be in my pocket here. Also, just because there's not seating for everybody, feel free to get up and grab a drink, grab some food. The bathrooms are just around the corner up here on this floor for men over 50 like me, and you can find your way. So what we'll do now is for the next sort of 30, 45 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, talk a little bit. Jim and Laura and I will lead off. A couple of other people have also said they'd like to speak. And then we'll open up the floor to those of you who want to speak and just say 2 or 3 minutes of things if there are those of you who want to speak. So with that, I'll just go directly to Jim.
Be Merry, Inkster. What a life to celebrate, truly. And as I look out into this room with so many dear friends of all ages, I am just so grateful for the friendships that my mom has made, and oftentimes I've been able to be fortunate enough to also make friends with some of my mom's older friends. So, a friend of mine described Be Merry as magical. And I thought that was just a wonderful expression for her. I really believe she was. And I believe part of her magic was cultivating and nurturing really wonderful friendships that oftentimes lasted a lifetime. In case people didn't notice, Be Merry was always seemed to be a party around Be Merry.
Oh, yeah.
Whether she was in it or around it, she just really liked parties. I think that's what we said for Margaret Kretschmar too. One of her friends around her 5th birthday decided to call Be Merry Birthday Mary, because that's what the B clearly stood for. Of course, the cake at all of these parties was really love and friendship. Fun, laughter, and adventures with icing on the cake. A week before her 88th birthday, Be Merry's lifetime friend, Sally Hart, joined Laura, Pam, Sally's daughters for a very, very special lunch, birthday lunch at Englewood. It was so meaningful to Mom. And, excuse me. So, humorously, after the party, Be Merry called and said, "Guess what I had for breakfast today? Chocolate cake and ice cream. And I had seconds, too." So, besides, 88 years of friendships and laughter and fun, and many adventures, there are sort of countless signature Be Merry's stories, and I'm sure most of you have several of them, and I really wish we could hear them all. One of the things that I believe these stories demonstrated was her courageous determination. And she loved to quote Ron Oakes. And Ron would say, I might not get this exactly right, that self-confidence is something you earn. It's not something that's given to you. So Be Merry really lived that, and she earned her confidence through all these stories, some of them quite humorous. So here's a couple of them. When she was a small child, her father held out his hand to help her across the river. She decided to decline. She kind of passed on the help. And she said, "I won't fall off the log." Well, she almost made it across, but not quite. And so her father would oftentimes remind her the story, "I won't fall off the log." As a 12-year-old, she rode horseback from the farm at Englewood all the way to Lake Oswego, way beyond where her parents would have wanted her to go. And she had a little 7-year-old brother. In high school, B. Mary won lots of ski races. She was a fearless skier like Ross here and many others here in this room. And also in high school, she climbed she climbed 3 Cascade Peaks on a long weekend. And I'm not sure the most courageous part of this, but she didn't ask for her parents' permission. I think that might have been more difficult than the other. But with her parents' permission, she spent a winter in Sun Valley, and she took time off during college to ski race in Europe. One of the funny stories along that was Mary got a job as a water ski instructor, even though she had never water skied before. We talked about learning. She must have had lots of confidence, I would say. So the story went that Jeanette was a famous water ski instructor, and so kind of rode on her coattails. And Be Mary, she couldn't get out of the water, and people were a little bit concerned. And so Jeanette said, "Well, it's just Be Mary's not used to salt water." So that was. So after graduating from Stanford, I mean, she, sometime with all this skiing and having fun, she did find time to go to lots of schools, actually. Went to Oregon State, University of Colorado in Boulder, and she graduated from Stanford. And typical to her ambitious nature, that the first week after graduating, she attended all the classes at both the business school and law school, because she wasn't sure which one she wanted to do. She kind of wanted to do them both. But she decided on law school because they called her Miss Paget, and she liked that a lot. So there are countless, precious memories about Be Mary having fun, and they really demonstrate how much she valued it. I would often tell Be Mary how much I appreciated having a mother who valued fun. And whether it was her or her friends or family, that she valued it is really important. And here's a couple just stories about that, just her need to help people with having fun. So around my 13th birthday, Mom somehow convinced, she's also a good salesman, and she convinced Green Bay Packer and a former Marine to get me up to the top of Mount Hood on my 13th birthday so I could ski down. So she wanted to see me with that smile, having fun. In college, she supported my dream of starting a whitewater rafting business, while Bud silently suffered through the Great Recession, and we don't know how the heck he did it. And in my 40s, she fully supported my career decision to find some more flexibility in my life so I could have more fun, hopefully with her. So it was a leap of faith. She supported me, and I'm sure glad she did. Also, since Be Mary believed in the value of outdoor education, she joined the board of Outward Bound and supported Laura's decision to become an Outward Bound instructor and a professional river guide. She loved seeing people have fun. And last winter, she learned that one of our neighbors, Barry Kane, who was working just a bit too hard and maybe needed a little bit more fun, Be Mary convinced Barry to take some time off of work and come over to Sun Valley for just a few days, which he did, which was wonderful. So there's so many countless stories. Many of you guys have skied in Europe with her, skiing in South America, Sun Valley, of course. And just so many happy memories there, which some of you guys will talk about. But of course, along the way, just like all of us, she encountered her hardships too, and her setbacks. She had a broken leg in 1950, before the 1952 Olympics, a fractured pelvis, I love this one, Galen, on the first day of Bicycle, Oregon, fractured pelvis. And then, of course, several broken bones and injuries in Sun Valley in her later years, and a broken hip last year, and a stroke as well. So she was one tough lady. So, fortunately for Be Merry, Bud and many friends and caregivers were always there to pick up the pieces. Whenever Be Merry would injure herself, break something, Bud would answer the phone and say, "Be Merry, what have you broken this time?" We never knew. Bud often said that Be Merry had 2 speeds. Full speed ahead and flat on her back. So, one thing about Bud though is he faithfully supported Be Merry in either one of those speeds. And he was used to both. So when Be Merry broke her leg in the 1950s, that Bud was a suitor who kind of outlasted the rest, and she certainly had a fine taste too, as he did. A few years ago, some of you may not know this, Be Merry drew a wild card with Parkinson's disease. And she didn't want to talk about it with friends. And some of you may be surprised to hear that. She referred to this as the monkey on my back. And fortunately, Be Merry had been training all of her life to conquer her fears. And whether it was climbing 3 mountains on the Cascades, or racing against Ross or somebody, or winning competing against Doris Martin, in her 70s at national and international ski races, that she was certainly courageous. She was anything but a quitter. So this time, though, she needed to really gracefully accept the help from wonderful caregivers, family and friends, and accepting help can oftentimes be the hardest thing to do for all of us. So with a determined spirit and plenty of support, Be Merry battled that monkey on her back like many of our courageous friends. The ending of Be Merry's battle ended up as a truly glorious victory of faith over fear, truly. And it demonstrated her strength of character, love of close friends, and finally, letting go and receiving grace. The day after Be Merry's party at Englewood with Sally Hart and family, where she ate cake for breakfast, Nydia, where's Nydia? There he is. Hi, Nydia. Nydia took Be Merry to the Metolius for a much anticipated trip that she was not able to make last year due to her broken hip. Along Santiam Pass, it was like she was a child and was on her first trip with her grandfather or her parents, just looking at everything with just a sense of gratitude for this joyous creation. She'd say, "Look at the river, so full of water. And then look how it pours, and then the sun comes out. And then finally, just look how it turns around, how it changes around each corner." So arriving at Camp Sherman, I'm sorry my speech is a little bit long, but I want to get to the part that arriving at Camp Sherman, she told Nydia, "I want to take this road," which led to her grandfather's cabin. So she stopped there and just soaked it in and just savored all the happy moments over 88 years, the Paget cabin and the Hogan's cabin, now enjoyed by the Sloop family. Next, in true Be Merry form, she said, "I want to go to the Camp Sherman store. And I want a hamburger with the works." Now, mind you, she hasn't really been eating or drinking very much for quite some time, so Nydia's like, okay. When Roger White, the Camp Sherman store owner, came out to greet her, like the mayor of Camp Sherman. It reminded Nydia of the words that Peter spoke in the Bible, that welcome to paradise, you're almost there. And she really was. She really was. So when arriving in Camp Sherman, arriving at the cabin, even though she had been in a wheelchair, she said to Nydia, I want to walk through the door, which she did. And she sat down, gazed at the river,